Good afternoon, I'm Chip Hollowshape. Today's news is centered on thumb tool and engineering, as well as MSCED of Alabama. We are going to share with you the results of having the Lean initiative in place, as well as some other important news and information. But first, we have some breaking news from Thumb Tool and Engineering. Apparently, they have created a mascot named Agent H13, Man of Steel. For more on this breaking story, we take you to Alicia, where she is standing by to unveil Agent H13.
Thanks, Chip. Today is an exciting day at Thumb Tool and Engineering. We are expecting the arrival of Agent H13 at any moment. He represents all the things that TT is known for. Size. Our 214 employees under one roof make us one of the largest die builders in the industry, capable of producing 500 dies per week. Strength. With more than 6,000 combined years of service, our people are the best in the industry and are without question our greatest strength. Courage. We are up to most any challenge thrown at us. Wait a second. I think he's here. Yes, I'm proud to introduce Agent H13.
During the summer of 2014, Thumb Tool put on a 6S challenge. The goals of this objective included 6S, every square inch of Thumb Tool and Engineering. Maintain those achievements for years to come. No more just being clean for visitors. TTE will always be ready for company. Improve employee morale by working together in teams and having fun. The plant was divided into 14 sections. The event began on July 14th, 2014 and ended 1 month later on August 14th, 2014. Each team picked a team name which was presented to George Taylor for approval. All teams had common practices where they were applicable, such as labels and colors. Coaches met regularly to discuss those items. The allowance or budget that was approved was $1,000 for each team. Judging was held on the week of August 18th, 2014.
Thank you, Chip Hollowshape, for explaining the 6S challenge. So you may be asking yourself, what are the 6S's? They are sort, set in order, shine, standardize, sustain, and safety. From this challenge, 4 winners were chosen. 2 teams tied for first place. I had an opportunity to interview a team member from each of the winning teams earlier by phone. So for the next few moments, I would like to replay those interviews for you and share some of the images that were used in the team's presentations. Please excuse some of the background noise that our mics picked up during the recording of these interviews.
I'm speaking with Mr. George Taylor. He is a team member of the team that came in 3rd place. Thank you for meeting with me this afternoon. Tell me, George, how long have you been with TTE?
I have been at Thumb Tool and Engineering since 2003, so 12 years.
I thought it was longer.
Well, before that, I spent 25 years with CKS Tool and Engineering.
Since you've been here, have there been other systems besides Lean?
Yeah, I believe it was 2006. We went through a Lean program also, but it wasn't shop-wide, so therefore it was not very successful because we didn't make the total team commitment to it.
Was that a Gemini Child still at that time?
That would have been a grant that we received from the help of Gossinger, our Akuma dealer.
Has Lean been effective helping the heat treat department become a safer place to work?
Yes, it has. We removed a lot of clutter, which results in a safer workplace.
Okay, so let's take a look at some of the pictures you had taken that were part of the presentation. Please share a few words about what it is you are seeing.
Well, the first one shows the clutter that I just mentioned. Basically, it wasn't straightforward, a place for everything in its place. Wherever there was room, it was leaning. The next picture shows basically anything from trip hazards at the bottom of the steps. Again, boards leaning against a cabinet, and more grid work sitting right in the middle of the floor, so just out of place. This next one showed our team doing the shining or cleaning. We have a very, very good team. Everybody played a big role in making sure things happened. Very proud to be part of this team. Here is the first picture where everything is back in order. Everything's in its place. You'll see that we covered up some areas where open spots that could get a lot of clutter, or a lot of clutter was gathering there. So we finished off the cabinet work so that you could no longer put the pieces there that didn't belong there. So it stays cleaner that way.
Yeah, that steel work around the frame there it's beautiful. It looks really nice. Now, is that open up in the public so everybody who walks by can see that?
Yeah, all the guests, when somebody comes by to visit our facility, we frequently get to that point and see it. Again, a little more organization. We painted all the draws so there's uniformity. You can see each draw has a record clipboard behind it. We standardized all of that and removed all the clutter at the bottom of the stairs, which is a much nicer place to work now.
In this next set of pictures, you're going to see some major safety improvements. Now, some time has passed. Have these safety improvements made a positive change?
Yes, they have. We're still testing the coating on the floor, but I believe we will put that down in the shot blast area because that does get slippery, and this seems to have held up pretty well, so we're going to continue with that. Again, you can see the wide open aisles, so there's nothing in the way, and in general nothing gets left in them areas where it's safer to walk. And we are installing the vacuum system to keep the sand off the top of the furnaces, so that is an improvement also.
That vacuum system, has its own separate ducting that's stores the dust outside or something, or is there a bin that it goes to?
It goes down underneath and then it recycles back into so we recover the sand. Before we recovered it also, but it was it usually took quite a filtering process to clean it. This makes it stay much cleaner.
It's been some time now since the challenge has been over. Is the heat treat department still looking clean and organized?
Yeah, we could always have some improvement, but it is much better.
If the lean program was not in effect, would the heat department have taken the steps to meet the challenge goals?
I'm sure we would have had some improvements, but not to the extent of a total effort with everybody in the team, everybody in the department.
Did having the $1,000 to make these improvements make what you did possible?
Yeah, it played a large role. It was interesting to see the different ideas from the different team members on what we should spend the money on. But we agreed in the end, and we stayed just under our goal of $1,000 too.
Okay, so that leads to a next question. Had that been doubled, do you think in the allotted amount of time that it would have been utilized, or you're okay with what you received?
I think overall that we met the challenge. Yeah, if we had more money to spend, we would have made some further improvements. One of them would have been the ability to wash all the walls, because that's very difficult to do, especially when you're operating 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
What has the Lean Initiative done for TTE?
We're a better company with meeting the challenges of keeping everything in order and keeping an effective, in-tuned workforce. I really feel that we had total buy-in from all the employees.
Well, thank you, Mr. George Taylor, for spending some time with us this afternoon. Mr. Taylor and his team took third place in the 6S Challenge. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, we're speaking with Chris Schember. They were the second place winners of the Lean 6S Challenge. So what was the attitude of the employees when Lean was introduced? Was there complaining? Did they embrace the program? Was it a combination of both? Give our audience a sense of what the workers were thinking in the beginning.
They said this again. They said, we've tried stuff like this before and it just never worked.
Okay.
Because we had tried Lean before, years and years ago.
Has Lean been effective in its goals in the mill department?
Yes. It made the guys' jobs easier. We recently did some extra things after the event. We moved some material racks that are saving the guys over a mile a day, which gives them more time to work on tooling and keep the machines running more efficiently.
Okay. So let's take a look at some of these pictures that were taken as part of your presentation. Well, Chris, those are some pretty bad leaks. What's the problem? What's going on here?
The slides get wore over time. Those machines run 24/7. We've had them for 10 years. It's just general maintenance needs to be kept up on them.
To me, it seems like those leaks are pretty bad. Should this have been fixed as soon as it was a problem and not just during the 6S challenge?
It should have been. The only problem we have is we have to keep these machines running in order to fulfill our obligations to the customers and deliver on time.
Have all these leaks been fixed, and are they still being maintained like they were after the challenge?
Almost all the leaks are fixed, and they've been maintained much better than what they were previously.
Tell us, before you got started, what did your team do in preparing for the challenge?
Basically, we had a meeting with everyone explaining what the goal of this 6S challenge was. Told them that we needed everybody's involvement. Gave them a week or so to get started thinking about what they wanted to change and where the areas were that we needed. We eliminated as many drawers as we could. We put things out in the open. We put things at the point of use and made sure everyone understood that it was to make their jobs easier.
So it's been some time since the challenge has been over. Is the mill department still looking clean and organized?
Yeah, they've done a pretty good job. We've had a couple challenges with the new machinery being put in and the steel area needing to be reorganized. But as far as like the tables and the inserts and stuff like that, yeah, that's been kept up pretty well.
All right, so tell us what the safety concern is here.
The way the area was laid out, the employees would have to bring the material all the way around. So what they were doing was taking a shortcut and rolling steel over this plate.
Okay.
And it was actually crushing it, and there's actually electric wires underneath it.
Okay.
So this could have been a very bad issue.
Well, it looks like you guys did a really good job. That is some pretty nice work there. So if the lean program was not in effect, would the mill department still be in disarray?
I would say it probably would be, yes.
So just share any final thoughts that you have about lean?
As long as you get everybody involved, they'll take pride in what they do and they'll help you maintain it better because it's something that they did, they came up with, they set up, and they'll help you maintain it better that way.
Okay. That's it.
All right. Thanks.
Well, thank you for joining us, Craig. During the time you were participating in the 6S challenge, did you discover different areas in the maintenance room that needed attention because they were made known from going through the challenge? Or did you find you and your team already had in mind what needed to be accomplished?
We knew what needed to be accomplished because it was a mess. And we had to get together and just figure out what we were going to get rid of.
So in that process of figuring things out, was there a couple of you guys, 2, 3 of you guys, and did a walk around with a checklist or something?
Pretty much everybody in maintenance got together and took a section and we just started cleaning.
Do you think the lean program is an effective tool to find and eliminate safety hazards, as well as finding ways to save labor and material costs?
It was a very good idea to lean that stuff out. It was what needed to be done and is very effective at helping us now find stuff quicker.
Let's take a look at some of these images from the winning presentation. In this first set of pictures, what did it look like before?
Number 5, there was 2 little benches against the wall, and you couldn't even see the wall. There's so much junk hanging on it. The back wall was cluttered with boxes. And
how long did it take to organize just that area?
It took every minute they give us, right down to the last minute to finish this. You know, we took everything out of the room, completely emptied it, and painted the floors and walls. It was a lot of work.
Now, the picture that we're seeing with the microwave, describe what was the problem prior to being cleaned up.
The microwave picture was you could not see that wall at all. There was this giant shelf, 4 shelves high. It was probably 6 foot tall, and it was just buried in junk.
Well, it looks like you guys did a fantastic job. That is extremely well organized and clean. Okay, same thing here with the lathe. Can you describe what it did look like?
Nothing was painted. The lathes were solid grease and oil. The saws and Bridgeport mill behind it were just a mess. The bench behind it, there really wasn't anything but a little table, and we built the bench and put the toolboxes under it and redone our air lines and stuff and painted everything.
Okay, and this next image with all the toolboxes, that looks well organized.
That was another great big shelf, like a 4-tier shelf, just piled with garbage. We took everything off the shelf, got all these toolboxes and put everything in toolboxes and labeled it yours. So we know where it is now, and it's much easier to get at it.
If you were given more money in addition to the $1,000 that was allotted to make these improvements, do you think you would have had the time to use those funds, or was the amount of work that you had to do already too much and the money was just right?
We were out of time, and the money was real good. If anything, we needed another week. We worked through the weekend, one weekend, to finish that up.
It's been a few months since the challenge. Is the maintenance room still in tip-top shape?
It's in really good shape. It hasn't changed. It's easy to clean now and get back to shape. It don't take much time.
In your own words, please share any thoughts that you may have about the Lean initiative.
I think it was a very good idea. We needed it bad in the maintenance area. It was a total mess. It was very, very helpful in just getting rid of stuff we didn't need anymore. And we kept worrying about throwing all this stuff out, but we very seldom have we had to go look for something that we tossed. We haven't needed much of it.
So if you don't use it within a year,
Yeah.
you're never going to use it, right?
Yeah.
Well, thank you, Craig. We enjoyed this opportunity to speak with you, and congratulations for taking first prize. It looks like you have really outdone yourself, and it's pretty clear to see why you won. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good afternoon, Doug. Congratulations on tying for first place in TTE's 6S Challenge. There were many challengers in this competition. Tell me how you felt about your team when you learned that you had taken first place.
I was very proud of our team. Seeing the guys from the day shift and night shift come together and work together to organize and clean up, and then they get rewarded for all their hard work. So it was a fantastic feeling, and I was very proud of our team.
If the Lean initiative was not in place, would the Warrior Room have had the instinct to achieve many of the effective changes that happened during the challenge?
I don't believe so. I think the challenge definitely motivated us to all come together, roll up our sleeves, and make some improvements.
Let's talk about some of the pictures that were used in your presentation and help us understand what's going on.
In this first slide, we're looking at a fire extinguisher. What we did is we actually were written up a few times from the safety committee for items, and you can see on the left items in front of blocking the extinguisher. So we cleaned it up. We researched some floor labeling, and we used visuals in floor labeling to so people wouldn't block the fire extinguishers.
Okay, that labeling, was that a significant cost or was that relatively low?
Oh, it's relatively low. That actually was part of our budget that we worked with inside our budget. So in photo 2, it's basically the same thing. The electrical panels had been blocked before. We have been written up from the safety committee. So we went in, we cleaned the floors up, and then labeled it and used visuals so nothing can be placed in front of the electrical panels.
And to this day, how does that look? Is that area still protected?
Yes. Yep. It's a little dirtier because this is actually a white labeling. Still, all the lines and the labels still there and very visual. Again, this is in the EDM room. All we did was went into the benches and organized them, labeled them, sorted it out, and shined it up. It was an old piece of equipment that had not been used, so we tore it down, sold it, eliminated it, cleaned the floor and the area up that it was in because it had been leaking oil that was unsafe, and now it's cleaner and safer.
Did you have other equipment also that was
that was the only
taken out?
one. That was the only one that it wasn't being used, and we felt that we didn't need it, and we've been doing fine without it. So this is a pre-setting station. You can see on the left that it was very unorganized. There was tooling all over the place. Again, went in, cleaned it up, organized it, labeled it. So much more efficient for them guys now.
So who did your labels for you?
One of the team members. This is a photo of the wire room. On the left, it was a bench and some cleaning equipment that we just went in and relayed it out. You can see we used some hose reels to get the hoses off the floor because they were becoming a trip hazard, and then we put everything in its place.
Clutter in the work area, no matter which department you work in, is an unsafe work area. It looks like you were able to really dig in and make good use of the resources that were provided to your team during the challenge. After several months since placing in first, does the wire room still keep everything in order, keeping the work area safe?
The wire room does a very good job. We have come up with an audit form, and we do monthly audits. We've had a little bit more troubles in our EDM, our conventional EDM department is a little bit difficult there to keep that clean as the wire room, but they are sustaining it.
I hope you can share with the audience what the Lean program means to you, in your own words, just briefly.
I would say it means, and what it's done for us is helped eliminate waste. It's made us more organized, and which has helped make us more safer.
Well, thank you so much, Doug, for spending time with us. Doug is a member of the high voltage team who shared first place in TTE's 6S Challenge. Thank you.
Thank you.
We are thankful for the time we had to share with each team member. Thumb Tool and Engineering wanted to remind us that they were very proud of each department. Every department made a dramatic change as a result of the 6S Challenge. Now back to you, Chip, for the most exciting part of our newscast, which is going over the savings numbers from MSCED and Thumb Tool and Engineering.
Thank you, Gordon. Before we get to the numbers, we have this report to file. What works and what irks when making changes. First, what worked. Involvement from personnel within the affected area or department. These are the people with the job knowledge, and many times the ideas to improve will come from them. Don't bite off more than you can chew. Focus on small, achievable, time-sensitive tasks to effectively work through your Kaizen. Ask yourself, what is step 1? Then go complete step 1. Utilize shorter sessions more frequently. Many times, the first day of Kaizen just gets the juices flowing. It often provides a benefit to meet for only a few hours a day all week rather than utilize one entire day. Things that irk. Some cave dwellers don't want to see change, good or bad. It is difficult for them to break their decade-old routines. Oftentimes, the Kaizen change is preached and told to the department. In order to achieve complete buy-in, the idea has to be sold to the team as a win-win. There are instances when a team member brings an idea forward that we are not prepared to deal with. This may convey to the team member that his ideas are not being heard. Communication on the whys and the why nots is vital to keep people involved. We must start completing our work. A new Kaizen should not begin until the existing Kaizen is closed. So many times the same key team members are needed in multiple events. This can become overwhelming for them to prioritize and achieve all the necessary items. This also allows events to become marathons rather than sprints. Lack of involvement from Lean team members is a real issue. As Lean champions and executives, we cannot choose when we decide to involve ourselves in the company or corporate Lean initiative. It should be our way of life. Now for MSCED savings. The savings and descriptions in this report come to you from Nathan Cummings from MSCED in Alabama.
By having a standardized MSCED tool list, this has cut down on the setup time of tooling up the machines for each job by 50%. Operators are not having to search for or create tooling on each job. 95% of the tooling for the job is either in the machine already or at the machine. Window fixtures. By utilizing the window fixtures to mill backers, feeders, bolsters, and caps under 14 inches, we have decreased our setup time by more than half and eliminating a setup. Program times are quicker due to not having to add drilled holes for chips to be flushed out. Also, from the jobs I have seen, the finish is better on these jobs. Thermal-coated wire. By switching to this wire, we are able to decrease our wire times by 24% on average. We are also able to eliminate 6 thou of wire and will be looking to eliminate 12 thou of wire in the near future. According to our wire room supervisor, the finish is better on the jobs also. Bridgeport manual mill improvements. We have started doing more manual mill work to our dies, which has created more time for our mill operators, but saves time on our polishing and inspection time. We have also started doing more feed work on the manual mill and saving on sinker time by not burning a lot of our feed thus, which tends to tie up our sinker machines. Heat treat. Our heat treat time has been reduced from 48 hours to 24 hours. Yearly savings for each department. Bridgeport, $29,250. Heat treat time, $29,832. Window fixtures, $288,000. MSCED tool list, $43,875. Thermal-coated wire, $135,000. Total yearly savings, $525,957. That's $525,957 in savings for 1 year.
Thank you, Nathan. Those are some remarkable numbers. Up next, savings from Thumb Tool and Engineering. The following slides will reveal the savings for each month and the year, 2015 and 2014. I will start with 2014 year-to-date numbers. Data entry, $5,720. Spider dies, $232. 5S savings, $4,000. Tooling, $23,302. Special request, $1,750. A82 tooling, $36,477. HSP bearing changes, $41,101. The following slides reflect the yearly and monthly savings up to May 2015. I will announce the year-to-date savings. Tooling, $14,563. Data entry, $3,575. Wire savings, $62,391. A55 hard mill, $62,436. Spider dies, $3,214. Chamfer 2 coil, $733. Total savings up until May 2015, $146,913.40. That's all the news that we have for you from Thumb Tool and Engineering and MSCED of Alabama. We'll see you next time. Good night.